Hello, hello. Welcome to another stream, everybody. Thank you for joining. We're back to you live with another live stream of what is happening on the ground in the capital of Ukraine, Kiev. Thank you for joining again. Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? It has been a while, but we're back. Again, lots to discuss. Just some last minute things being fixed up here. Just getting last minute fixes up here. Hello, hello, welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining. Back to you live with what is going on in the capital of Ukraine, Kiev, and Ukraine, and the latest news and updates and all the good stuff that you guys enjoy. I know we have been away for a while now, but we're back, and I'm excited to be back to see how you guys are doing and give you guys the latest on what is happening on the ground. Really nice to be back. Thank you for those that have just joined. We're just going to wait a couple of minutes before we get all excited and start talking about the latest that is happening on the ground in the capital. Hello, hello. Jerry says, hello, hello. Been a few days. It has been, Jerry. Yes, it has. But we're back. What can you do? You know, you get caught up in life. And Alice, oh, really? Yes, really. We are back. We're back. Yeah, we'll keep you updated as to the latest that's happening. Lots happening today, actually. That's part of the reason that I did get back on the stream, and I wanted to give you guys the latest updates, because there's been a lot of updates and a lot of action on the ground, and it's more than what we're used to seeing. And it's not just that we're seeing strikes, it's that we're seeing a lot of movement on the ground, a lot of we're seeing military personnel. Okay, let's see here. So it sounds like there's some sound coming from one of the cameras, so we're focused on it to give you guys a better image of what's happening. But how are you guys doing? Jerry, great, I like the stream. Well, I like you being in the stream. Thank you for joining, Jerry. But yeah, we did hear some. There you go. There you go. Did you guys see that strike? That was just a strike, just a couple of seconds ago, guys. There we go. Yeah, there's been a lot happening today, a lot of strikes, and we have seen some military personnel as well. And you guys can see the presence on the Ukrainian side in the capital. Military personnel seems like patrolling the streets. I'm just kind of trying to give you an image here of what's happening on the ground, as you can see. But it looks like a heavier than usual military presence in the capital, and they're surrounding the streets now, kind of patrolling the streets more than usual. Yes, we are in curfew. Yes, we are within curfew hours. But even within the curfew hours, we normally don't see as big of a presence on the streets, especially during these hours of the night. So definitely higher than normal presence on the streets of Kiev. And you can see they're looking at everything. I think there is a bit of a concern that, you know, Russian troops will try to, paratroopers may try to enter the city under some sort of cover, and you know, be able to access the streets of Kiev that way. We had seen that happen in Mariupol, where Russian paratroopers were able to infiltrate the city, and that gave access to the troops on the outside part, on the ground, right? So I think there's a lot of concern in Kiev that may be what will happen in the hours to come. So we'll keep you posted. But how's everybody doing? And thanks for the people that just joined the stream. Again, you guys are getting live images from the capital of Ukraine, Kiev, right now, where it's about 3:15. Now, we're used to seeing, normally we see a bit more calm during these hours of the night, but I'm trying to zoom in into where I'm seeing some activity in the sky. So you can see here, we just a little while ago, we see some lights up here and here. Not sure again if it's airstrikes. It's hard to tell with these lights. Sometimes what Russian forces do is they put flares so that they have better vision of what's happening on the ground. especially with the darkness in the capital. Alice says Russians getting whooped. Gonna see mushroom clouds soon. So I think, Alice, you're referring to the potential for Russia to use nuclear weapons in the capital. Again, we've seen more threats of that, and it may be partly because of the difficulty that Russia has in entering the capital of Ukraine, Kiev. With that said, at least according to Russian sources and Putin, is that this military operation is going as planned. How accurate that is hard to tell. Guys, we're only 1 like away from 10 likes, so if you've not clicked that like button, please help us out and click the like button. But yeah, so again, Jerry says Putin is pissed off. He told the troops to push. Yeah, so they have been advancements, and again, we've seen the Russian troops push through Mariupol, a city that we thought they would not be able to access, but they have been able to push through the city of Mariupol. So, and that was a very tough city for Russian troops to enter for a while. They experienced a lot of resistance, but again, they were able to still push through that resistance. Whether that will be the case in Kiev, we're yet to find out. But obviously, they're not in the capital yet, which should tell us that, you know, the fight. Again, we've seen a light there on the camera 5, which should tell us that it is a harder push, or at least, you know, up to this point, a harder push for the Russian forces to enter through the capital. Now, just so you know, the capital is right now under full besiegement by Russian troops. Now, the south was previously open, but right now all of the south is closed as well. So it is a tough situation in the capital. Crosby, welcome back. Thanks for joining the stream. Crosby says they're taking Kiev any minute now, right? Yeah, we have to say that every time. Alice, what's Russia waiting for? Christmas? Jerry says also Ukraine blew some boat. I did read about that. They broke again, though. I think it was not made. Glenn, thanks for joining the stream. Welcome back. Welcome back, guys. For those of you that have just joined, I know there's like 44 of us. Let's try and get to 20 likes. 10 more likes. I'm sure we can push through it. But yes, so Jerry, as to your question, yes, there were reports of a boat that was targeted, warship, a Russian warship to be specific, that was targeted in Ukraine around Kiev. Now, I did see the videos that were claiming that it was not clear that it was a war boat, and we had seen previously, you know, over, especially at the beginning. Again, it looks like we had a bit of a strike there. We had seen previously that where there was that claim, you know, that boats were targeted, and that didn't end up being the case. So it's kind of hard to tell, but there are reports of a warship, to be specific, not just a regular boat, a warship that was carrying tanks, believe it or not, that was targeted. So that's kind of what's going on. Who that dude? Hella fighting in Sever. Where's that? Who that dude? Is that on the outskirts of Kiev as well? So there's a lot of fighting now. You have to remember, by the capture now, Russian forces claiming they've captured Mariupol, that, you know, the next target is Kyiv. So that was the supposedly the one in line before the capital, but now that is under control of Russian troops, there was some severe and very heavy fighting, according to a lot of videos, on the outskirts of Kyiv, and now with one of the Chechenian forces, one of basically, you want to call it a province of Russia, one of their forces, a group of their forces had advanced towards the capital, and were making some gains. So we'll see what happens on those fronts, and if I do find anything, I'll let you know. Alice says, life is more important than your viewers. I felt abandoned. Yes, it is. But, you know, again, it's not more important than my viewers. But, you know, you have things that happen. I have a newborn and work. And so things have kind of gotten busy for me. So, Sarah, so sick, sorry. Welcome back. Nice to see you again in the stream. Thank you for joining. Dude, welcome back online. Thanks. I'm really happy to be back online. Again, guys, there's about 50 of us and 16 likes. Let's try and push and get at least half. So let's get 25 likes if we can. Nice to see you again. Again, guys, I have a newborn and, you know, life with work and things like that. So I do get stuck sometimes. I try to be as consistent as I can. But again, you guys, you're getting live images from the capital. Fake. What are the civilian casualties? I will find that out for you. The last I had seen was about 18,000, but I'll keep you posted in a second here. I'll give you the exact numbers. But yes, there are severe casualties, and they had gone up. Now, most of the casualties, the new casualties, are happening in actually the city of Mariupol. again, guys, I'm trying to zoom in on cameras that will where I'm seeing some activity, because there's some people walking around with lights and kind of. So I'm not sure again if this is about a military expected military operation, but there's a lot of troops on the ground right now in the capital, and they're surveilling the city more than what was happening previous. So I'm trying to keep an eye to kind of figure out what's happening on the ground, and if I do find out anything, or if I see activity happening on one part, I will zoom in and give you guys post. But how is everybody doing? So as far as again, the latest casualties, I have just pulling up exact numbers here. Okay, guys, again, just trying to zoom in to see. So as you guys can see, there's some parts of the city are more lit up than others, and it appears like these may be, again, attempts to keep an eye on what is happening on the ground. I think there is fear that at any moment Russian forces could make a push towards the advancement. Again, all of the cities around Kiev right now have been captured by Russian forces, so the city of Kiev has been besieged. So as you guys can see, I'm giving you images from various parts of Kiev, and again, if I do notice that there's anything happening in any specific side, I'll let you know. Donna says, I hear Putin is losing. So again, people are making, are saying that there is, because this war has taken so long, and we're entering, I believe that now a month into this war, that the Russian forces are failing in their push towards the capture of Ukraine, and particularly the capital. With that said, on the Russian side, Putin had made an announcement, I believe this was a day and a half or 2 days ago, that they were making the progress that they were looking to make at this point in time. And for those that were inquiring as to the total number of casualties, according to the Ukrainian government, there's a total of 14,000 dead, and out of those, about 4,000 or 3,500 that are civilians on the Ukrainian side. The United Nations saying it's at about 13,000. So regardless, it's sitting somewhere between 13 and 15,000 is the official reported numbers on the Ukrainian side. Now, as far as the Russian troops, there was an official announcement by Russian forces that they had suffered 10,000 deaths within their soldiers. Again, these are reported numbers by the governments. Again, they're probably not 100% accurate, but those are the official numbers. Guys, we're at 67 or 70 now people in the stream. Let's try and get 35 likes. I know half of you at least can click that like button. It really helps the stream out, and I would really appreciate it. Crosby says, any moment now Russian forces are going to push in. I do believe that, again, I'm not going to say in the next couple of seconds, as we were probably anticipating at the beginning of the conflict, because of how fast things were progressing, right? Things were changing so fast at those initial days. But I think at any moment we could see some form of advancement, whether that means more airstrikes, whether that means that you'll see Russian artillery begin to bombard the city. But we are looking at that. This is not just me saying that. This is the Ukrainian sources and sources in Kiev saying it. And even the president of Zelensky was at Congress today, or yesterday, I believe, or it might have been earlier tonight, depends on your time zone, saying that we are looking at a bigger advancement and we need more support from the international community. Again, this is even the Ukrainian side. Phil, welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining. Phil says, where have you been for a few days? I know. I'm sorry, guys. I kind of got a bit busy. I have a newborn, and I kind of was working, my regular work. Like I said, guys, I work in the medical field, so it does get overwhelming at times. So I appreciate your patience. But yeah, I'm excited to be back. And thank you all for joining again. Donna says, they are up against strong fight back from Ukraine. Absolutely, Donna. I did hear read a lot about the resistance that's on the Ukrainian side towards Russian troops making an advancement. But again, if we want to, we can go from an emotional perspective and say, they're fighting for their land, they're fighting for their families, to protect their families, and that's why they'll push off the Russian troops and win, essentially, in this war. But again, we can look at it from a different perspective and compare military capacities. And the Russian troops obviously have more advanced military capacity. They have more control of airspace. They have more troops on the ground. So it kind of looks, to determine who's gonna push further. It depends on what you're looking at it from. I think if you look at it from a more objective view, I think the Russian forces have still continued to have an advantage. Guys, let's try and get 35 likes. I know we only need 7 more, so let's somebody do the honor. Alice says Russia still haven't captured Mariupol. How are they going to capture Mariupol? So again, Alice, according to a lot of sources I read, Mariupol has been captured. Now there is resistance. Again, I mentioned this throughout our discussions, various discussions from the beginning. In order for Russian troops to maintain ground, that's the real fight. They won't be able to maintain ground, and they'll suffer losses. Now, depending on how many soldiers they're willing to give up, they're going to stay there for longer. But a lot of reports are saying they have been able to enter the center of the city, and they have some control of the center of the city. Now, what that really means, who knows? But they have entered the center of the city of Mariupol. I would say if you look at it from, again, if we try and see this from an objective view, it's captured. If you've entered the center of the city, that means there's not as much objects in front of you. So now, obviously, the push for Kiev is going to be a lot tougher than Mariupol. But again, Mariupol was seen as one of those cities that was very hard to infiltrate, and the Russian forces were on the outskirts of Mariupol for a very long time. So they had a very tough time trying to enter, but they did make an advancement in entrance into the city. So again, if you guys don't hear me well, just let me know. I know sometimes the mic can go crazy, but Maykel says Nazism in Ukraine is doomed. So sick. Yeah, I mean east below the power plant. Sorry, what happened east below the power plant? Again, guys, I'm hearing what sounds like helicopters, seems like in the skies, or some airplanes, or some sound coming from the sky in Kiev. Now, we did not hear the sirens yet, so I'm trying to keep an eye and see where that sound is coming from, guys. It does appear like it's coming from the camera in the capital, and it does sound like a helicopter, at least instinctively to me. Yeah, it does sound like, to me it sounds like a helicopter. I don't know what it sounds like to you guys, but right now, and this is coming from the camera in the capital. If I do find out anything out, I will let you know. I will keep you posted. But it does sound like a helicopter to me. If anybody has any suggestions, let me know. Yeah, exactly. So sick. Exactly so sick. They pushed into Mariupol. They did, and they entered the city. The mid of the city of Mariupol was captured by Russian forces at some point in time. But again, that's a car, yeah. I thought it was a tank. It looks like a tank. They are getting real, yeah. So again, the next push is for Kiev. Whether we like it or not, or we admit it or we don't, the next push is to Kiev. And the fact that Mariupol, they were able to push to the center of Mariupol is saying that the Russian forces are trying to. Exactly. I do agree. They couldn't connect. Thanks, mister. Yeah, no problem. Happy to give you guys the latest information. Guys, we're at 85 people on the stream, or 88 now. Let's try and get to 40 likes. Kyle, welcome back to the stream. Thanks for joining again. Kyle says, everyone's forgetting Ukraine had built trenches when Russia took the Crimea. They expected this. They built trenches, which is also why it's taking long. Exactly. But the thing is, Kyle, I do have a feeling that if they get control of the airspace, things will change. Again, Russian troops don't have full control of the airspace over Kiev. Yes, they can enter and leave, but there's still some air defense systems in the capital, which makes it difficult. Now, if Russian troops are able to get full control of their airspace over Kiev, then things change, and they can strike all these trenches at least, enough that their forces can move in, and then you get switching. And again, if you look at the traditional war, whoever had control of the trenches is the one that won. So if Russian troops are able to bombard those trench areas and move their troops enough that they capture the trenches, then it becomes a completely different war. So it's hard to tell again how things will shift. But I think what matters most right now, and what will determine who takes control of Kiev, is whoever has control of the airspace. Alice says no time on the screen. Yes, Alice, I know. I'm trying to zoom in on some specific cameras here that I'm seeing more action in. But yeah, it's close to 4. So Six says Russia running out of planes and parts. There's air defense system 300 coming. I do believe that, but again, Russian forces have a lot of planes, and to say the Russians are going to run out of planes is a really hard statement to prove, because again, we're still talking about Russia, right? They have thousands of airplanes, so I don't think they're going to run out of planes in the sense that there's going to be no Russian planes. Gerald says, I don't think they would use choppers at night because they would have to use light and they would get shot down. They don't have night vision. I agree with you, Gerald. Not necessarily helicopters. It may be drones, right, to try and get a view. Again, I think what's more important than airstrikes even is visibility on the ground, especially now without lights. You know, troops, as they try to move forward, especially with these trenches, they could experience shots, get shot at from all kinds of positions, Ukrainian positions. So they need to see what's happening in front of them. So drones are critical in this fight. Guys, we're only at 33 likes and there's 90 of us. Again, let's try and push at least half like ratio, 1 to 2. So let's get to 45 likes. Kyle says exactly that, mate. It's going to be a long war. However, the Ukrainians are doing well. Just about how Russia is willing to take this. They haven't even started using their main missiles. I do agree, but again, Kyle, I think what it comes down to is these missiles are ineffective. And that's what I thought, Kyle. It's drones. But again, Kyle, my thought is these missiles are ineffective if you don't know where you're shooting them at. So you need air control to be able to target these missiles. The idea is not just to destroy Ukrainian infrastructure. Even if they destroy all the infrastructure in Kiev, they will still experience resistance. Right? So it's not just about firing these missiles and hitting infrastructure. You won't win this war. If they want to get control of the capital, they need to hit strategic positions. Can you lower? Crosby says, can you lower the voice on the camera? I will, Crosby. I'm sorry. It's kind of hard for me sometimes to tell how loud it is for you guys because I lowered it on my end so I can speak. But if it's still loud, I lowered it a little. But if it's still loud, let me know. Guys, let's get to 40 likes. But yeah, so again, control of the airspace and particularly a visual of what is happening in the capital is the most important thing right now if Russia is trying to take control of Kiev. And depending on the air defense systems. Now, I know that at the beginning of this war, Russia was saying we will shoot down every single air defense system in Kiev. If that's still on the back of their mind, then, and they just have personally decided to wait, then they still have a shot. I think they still have a chance, and I think they still will control the capital, or not control, will enter the capital, I should say. Alice says, is there going to be a new world order after this war with China? Number 1. I really don't think that because the world has not gotten involved in a military form, no personnel, I don't think this changes anything globally. I think what this does is show that Russia is a lot weaker, perhaps militarily, than the world thought. But I don't think it really changes the balance of the world. The United States has not done anything. There we go. Is that wind? No. Yeah. So, yeah, I thought it was a strike. But the United States has not gotten involved, so I think their position stays the same. And same goes for China. Now, what could determine if a new currency is used, if that's what you're asking, the dollar or the yen, I think that will depend on the sanctions. Now, if the world decides that because of these sanctions, they still want to interact with China, especially if the United States sanctions China, then they'll have to use the yen. So this is the United States really putting themselves in a corner, I think. So we'll see what happens. It kind of depends on how long this war goes on. Europe needs Russian oil if they want to maintain a price cap on oil. Otherwise, oil will fly beyond what anyone thinks. There's still oil reserves right now. Right, guys, you got to remember, there's a lot of oil reserves still held in Europe and the United States and the vast majority of the world. But that will not last forever. Donna, the Pope will be mediator and the war will stop soon. I did not hear about the Pope being a mediator, Donna. Where did you hear about that? Interesting. Kyle, yes, mate. Control of the airspace is vital. I expect Russia will take the UAF out on the first initial strikes when this began that morning. as one that Russia failed here. However, we need to take a look. Rick, hello, thanks Rick, thanks for joining again. Guys, let's get to 40 likes. Rick says, Kiev must protect the ground parameters as well. Airspace is also important. You cannot take a large city without invading from the ground. I agree with you 100%, Rick. You have to have a ground involvement. But again, Rick, in order to be able to do anything on the ground, you need to have a visual. That's what I'm saying. Russia does not lack personnel. Russia has 2 million troops if they call upon, right? But these 2 million troops are useless on the outskirts of cities. And if you move them into the cities without control of the airspace, you're going to get hundreds killed at a time. So control of the airspace is what's necessary for Russia, specifically at this point in time. Kyle, the capability of Russia can bring to Kiev. Missiles are landing already in Kiev. Take out the air defense system. Russia turns the war into their side. Russia will play the slow game here. But again, I don't think the slow game is an advantage to Russia. If anything, the slow game is an advantage to the Ukrainian forces. Russian troops are exposed. They're out on flat ground. They're being targeted every single day. The advantage with a delay in this war is to the Ukrainian side. And I think that's clear with what we're seeing. The Ukrainian military, they have the advantage of being in cities. When you're in cities, you're not as exposed. In order for Russia to try and target any Ukrainian military forces in Kiev, for example, they will have to target civilians, which is a huge drawback to them, right? If you're having to target buildings, and you're having to target schools, and you're having to target hospitals because you expect that Ukrainian forces are there, you look bad to even your own people. And you have the potential of escalating this war where more civilians get involved and carry weapons because they're trying to protect their land. So they're in a pickle. They need to move forward. They have to. They have no option but to move forward. But they need air control of the airspace. It's crazy to think that Russia does not have control of the airspace over Kiev right now. That's what's shocking to me. Kyle says, I trade in the stock market. If Europe puts sanctions on energy and oil, we will see inflation like never before. I agree, Kyle. Exactly what I'm saying. Gerald, they won't be able to take out Ukrainian anti-air because they're mobile, and they it's not stationed. Some it would be hard for. I do believe they're hard, but again, if they have enough drones, they have enough airplanes on the ground, they will be able to take them down. And now, is Russia trying to and not taking them out? I don't think so, but it's possible that they haven't reached the point in time in their mind for them to begin to target the capital. I don't know. It could be. Guys, let's get to 50 likes. Only 8 of you have to click the like button. Let's do it. Show6 says, 2 tank factories out of business. Multiple airlines stopped working. Soldiers hungry and freezing. All they do is bomb. They can't enter without ground troops. Anyway, can you stop worrying about the US people? Yeah, I agree. Again, I think delays are a disadvantage to Russian troops. I do think that is clear. Kyle says they will surround Kiev from north and south, north and northeast. Will troops join from the south when they achieve liberation? So Kyle, I agree that Russian troops are trying to surround. The city of Kiev is already surrounded. Now, are the troops surrounding the city enough? We could disagree on that. I don't know. But it's already surrounded. I think they're having a hard time taking control of the airspace. And that's why I think they're stuck on the outskirts. I think they are in between two difficult decisions. Do we advance Russian troops and know that we will get hit extremely hard because we don't know what's lying in front of us? Remember, with these sorts of advancements, obviously Ukrainian troops have mines set up. They have a lot of stuff on the ground. So advancements will be slow. And when you're slow on a flat ground and you don't have control of the airspace, you're in trouble. So, and plus the Ukrainian troops right now, they have anti-tank missiles, and they have all these missile, air defense, the defense systems that they've received through Europe and the United States. So it's a tough situation for Russian troops to say we're going to move on the ground, and whatever we lose, because they will lose thousands. On the other hand, do we keep waiting until we one day, hopefully miraculously we get control of the airspace? Or do we sacrifice airplanes and we go all out in the air and try to take out these air defense systems? you can see how hard of a situation it is for Russian troops, and that's why I think they're stuck. They don't know what to do because every situation they go in is a tough one. Now, will they still be able to move forward? They will, but how much losses are they going to take? Victor says, hit the like guys. Absolutely, listen to Victor. Victor knows what he's talking about. Hit the like button. Khan says, that's why they haven't targeted Kiev yet. Look at Mariupol. They will take cities and give Ukraine an ultimatum. In my opinion, surround Kiev or will be Mariupol. So, again, Kiev is a bit different. I think Kiev made like Mariupol is an example of how the fight for Kiev will likely go. Except it'll be probably 4 times that. Alice says, why is this so backwards compared to the illegal invasion of Iraq? I don't think I want to get into American politics. We get into a lot of other stuff when we do. But I think there is some similarities. Remember, no war, I think the difference between this and the war in Iraq, why the United States was able to take over Iraq quickly, is control of the airspace. It all goes back. In modern war, airspace is everything. It doesn't mean you will capture the ground, but you will make your opponent back up. And when they back up, you can move forward if you have personnel. So it is a bit of a different war on that sense. The United States had full control of the airspace over Iraq. Russia right now does not have that. So Gerald says, Russia problems is they're using large insurgents, but the Ukraine is like the Americans. They're using small med teams, which can cause the most damage. Again, Gerald, I agree with you, but I think relative to what's happening on the ground, this is not the most important issue. I think the most important issue we get back is lack of ability of Russian forces to control of the airspace. Lance, hi Lance, thanks for joining the stream. Welcome back, nice to see you again. Guys, we're 100 people, 43 likes. I know we can get to 50. Let's get to 50. So6 says, S-300 missile systems will manage the skies. U.S. captured them from Russia, as far as I know. Who's this here? Wayben says, the Pope should have gone to every church and dragged the pedophiles by their hair into the streets. Maybe we can talk after he's finished. I think we're getting into a whole different issue. Vague says, just heard of a theory that the Russian military may be using the Ukraine as a possible training area for future expansion into Europe. I don't think so. I don't agree with you on that one. Again, if they were using this, they wouldn't lose 10,000 soldiers. You don't train your soldiers by killing them. So I think this is, and they've lost a ton of artillery. They've lost a ton of planes. They have suffered losses, and they're not small losses by any means. Now, are they the entire Russian forces? Like, some people make it sound like Russia's lost their entire military. Obviously, it's not the case. I think they're still, relative to the Russian military, focus on this. Relative to the Russian military, it's not a lot. But relative to the world, it's a lot. When you lose 10,000 soldiers and you lose all this artillery and you lose all these airplanes, yes, it's a significant loss. But I think it's not devastating to the Russian military. Just my opinion. Kyle says, I do think Russia will achieve their objective. Kyle, I do tend to agree with you that they will, but at what cost? I think this is where we get to a bit of a disagreement. At what cost? Crosby, is Putin hiding in a bunker? I think he's afraid of assassination. Crosby, I don't think so. Again, based on, there have been a couple of Russians that came on the stream and we kind of had a bit of a discussion. It sounds like the vast majority of Russians are, I don't want to say with Putin, but they did see this war happening and they did vote for Putin and they still continue to support their leadership. I think Russians right now, they see themselves against the world, right? Even if they don't want innocent, a lot of them don't want to see civilian casualties. But again, they think that they've been put in a corner. So I don't think, and again, Putin survived like 5 assassination attempts even before this. So I don't think that he'd be hiding in a bunker. And plus, we're not seeing any. I don't think a bunker is going to be any safer to him than a regular house because, we're not seeing Ukrainian army, airstrike Russia. So not yet, Alice, all kinds of gods fighting in this special operation. Gerald says Zelensky should invite the United Nations into Western Ukraine to train and work out with Ukraine military. Hand it handed with hurt the Russian movement. So, Gerald, again, I think the world has made it clear that they don't want a war with Russia. Even if everybody, Russia seems like it's not the strongest country in the world right now. Nobody wants to get involved. I think partly because they fear a nuclear war. I do think that has a big part to do with it. But nevertheless, they don't want to be involved. So I don't think you'll ever see that where United Nations or any country be involved or do military exercises or anything like that or train. So I don't think so. Guys, let's get to 50 likes. We're only 3 likes away. Alice says, is this a war or a special operation? I think it started out, Alice, as a special operation. There was a small group of military. And to me, the distinction is if you have a small group of, highly trained military personnel going in to achieve a specific objective, a mission they have, then it's an operation. But when you have that entire, like a huge military come in and they're trying to capture positions, I think that's not an operation. That's a full-on war. So I think this initially started as a special operation. You had a small group of Russian military move in. But as you saw over time, Russia kept pushing in more and more troops. And now they're trying to hold ground and move. And so I think it's become a war. That's just my thoughts. Let's get to 55 likes. Only 5 to go. Rick says, at least Zelensky knows how important a no-fly zone would be. He asked for fly zone help and is handcuffed by international orders. The ground defense is Ukraine's only hope at this time. So, obviously, I don't think it's only Zelensky that knows that, though, Rick. I think the world knows that a no-fly zone is important. If Ukraine wants to win this war, they need a no-fly zone. They're outnumbered by Russian forces. Whether we like it, you agree with it, you disagree with it. You can think a Ukrainian soldier is stronger than 10 Russian soldiers. That's, you can have that opinion. But in terms of numbers, they're outnumbered. And in terms of equipment, they're outperformed in terms of equipment. Their only advantage, again, is a weakness in what appears to be, up to this point, is a weakness in the Russian Air Force and their inability to control the space over Kiev. I think if we had seen a stronger Russian Air Force and they had taken down all the air defense systems right away, I think you would have seen this war long over. So I don't think it's hidden. I think the world doesn't want to get involved. They just don't want to be part of this war with Russia. But again, I don't think it's because they think that Ukraine doesn't need a no-fly zone. I think they know that Ukraine will not survive this war and win and push Russian troops back without a no-fly zone. Guys, we're only 2 likes away from 55. Let's push through those likes. It really helps us out. And I really, really appreciate it, guys. So 6 Story says, Russia gotta bring like a second army at this point. They're really effed up so hard they probably get cut off in front of Kiev by Ukrainian forces. Again, with what money? Also, Russia got other fronts. So again, I think people are underestimating Russian capacity. Just because Russian troops are not losing, they're being pushed back and experiencing strong resistance. They're not able to enter the capital. Doesn't mean Russia's military is done. And I'm not saying this to be an advocate for Russia or an advocate for Ukraine. I'm just trying to be realistic here. Yes, they've suffered losses. And again, I said that once and I'll say it again. Russian troops have suffered losses. And those losses may be big. But relative to Russia's military, they're not as significant as they sound. 10,000 soldiers is a lot, right? For a lot of militaries, that's a big chunk of their army. But for Russia, when you have 2 million soldiers, or potential soldiers, that's nothing. I don't think it's nothing for them, but I don't think it's as significant as people make it sound. Guys, we're only 6 likes away from 60. Let's push through those likes. So 6 says, 8 generals is pretty much done in chain of command. No, again, so 6, 8 generals is a lot. But how many generals are part of the Russian military? And I will find that out for you. I will find that out for you right now, actually, how many generals are within the Russian military. Many generals are in Russian. There we go. I'm just doing a Google search. Russian military. So let's take a look. So the Russia has a total of 2 million reserve personnel. It's probably hard to get that statistic, isn't it? Yeah, but again, so say you say there's 12 generals in Ukraine, but Ukraine is completely different than Russia. Ukraine doesn't have 2 million soldiers, so it's a very big difference. Guys, if you've not clicked the like button, let's get to 60 likes. We're only 4 away. Let's see. What is the Russian equivalent of a general? Army general. I'm trying to figure out how many generals in Russian military, because we have 8 generals that were killed. If anybody's able... Okay, so here we go. So 8 were killed, right? So just deployed in this Ukrainian war 20 generals. And they were all 20 were deployed to lead. Okay, so NATO would smash Russia hard. Mr. Salty, welcome to the stream. I do agree that Russia could not stand. But again, so Mr. Salty, it doesn't mean just because that they will lose against a traditional war, that if Russia nukes use nuclear weapons, that the world will not end. And I think that's the fear. Weapon says surgical. If this were an actual war, it would have been over in the afternoon. Russia is battle hardened in the biggest theater to date. This is a clown show. Donna says the Russian soldiers are surrendering to Ukraine. Donna, again, I can't generalize. So some Russian soldiers are surrendering. I did see those videos. But again, you're talking a lot of soldiers, guys. We can't. I know we see these videos and we just tend to think this is the entire Russian military. And again, I'm not an advocate for the Russian military or for any military. I'm just trying to be objective. I try to be as objective as I can on the stream and give you guys the image as it sits. No sides here. Just as long as, you know, giving you the information as it sits. Guys, we're only 2 likes away from 60. Let's get 60 likes. Gerald says, if the war continues, it won't be long before we will be getting into battle, and it would be World War III. Gerald, I don't think so. I really have a hard time believing that any country other than Ukraine will be involved in this war, unless, for some reason or another, Russia decides to go crazy and attack a NATO country. So if that's the case, yes, we will have a World War III. Otherwise, I don't think so. Donna says, I wish no one will die. We all, absolutely, Donna, I agree. We all wish that, for sure. Guys, only 2 likes to 60. Let's push the like button. Go crazy on it. Gerald says, what matters is how many command generals are there? It does matter, Gerald, again, because I'm saying, the only reason I'm saying that is because people are thinking now that the Russian military is finished. All of the Russian generals are dead now because we had 8 generals die in this war. And I'm saying that although Russia suffered heavy losses, they're not over. And those losses are not as big as they seem to other countries. Like if you had 10,000 dead for a small military, it's a huge deal, right? It could be the end of the war. But for a military of 2 million, when you have 10,000 or even 100,000, it's a huge number. That could be like the entire military of like a whole chunk of countries. But for Russia, 100,000 is 5% of their military. It's big, but it's not the end of the Russian military. And people say 8 generals, it's the end for Russia. No, when they've sent 20 lead generals in this war, 8 is a lot, but it's not everybody. So Mr. Salty says 20 generals that don't know what other 19 are doing. So Russian army, potentially. I do agree that there is some. I did notice though there is a bit of a disconnect between Russian troops, and I think part of it again the logistics is hard. You're not in a country that you know logistically, and that's why I said. And everybody thinks that Russia will besiege Kiev, and that's how they'll end the war and win and enter capital. My answer is always. Russian troops besieging the city of Kiev is a disadvantage to the Russian troops more than it is to the Ukrainian. The Ukrainians know their land. They know what what is on there. They're within buildings and within schools and within hospitals. It's much more difficult to target those troops. But for Russians, when you're on flat ground, you're an easy target. Alice says NATO piling up troops. I think NATO is piling it because they are afraid and they want to put a deterrent to Russia trying to advance. As this war becomes tougher and tougher for Russian troops, especially to get into the capital, I think there's more expectation that Russia will do crazy moves, and they don't want one of those crazy moves to be entering into NATO countries. Guys, let's click the like button if you've not clicked the like button. I really appreciate it. It really helps out with the stream. Rick says, it's such a twisted narrative, this war. I do agree. Gold says, Russia could send a warning with a small nuke for effect. I think Russia's put out a lot of warnings. I mean, when they attack a nuclear power plant, isn't that kind of a warning? Gerald says, they have command general and lower level general. They keep losing their hand generals that will hurt their wars, Russia's end, doing something that will drag you in NATO. It could be. Rick! Hey, welcome back. Rich, sorry. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining, Rich. Where have you been? I've been looking for your live stream all week, buddy. I know. I've just been busy. Like I said, guys, I have a newborn. I've been working like crazy, and I work in healthcare, so it's kind of my time. You know, when I have time can change day to day. But I will try to continue, guys, to give you as frequently as I can. I will try daily. But guys, like I said, things happen. If you just joined, and I see there's a group of you that just joined, please click the like button. It really helps the stream. Gold says everything is pre-planned. Klaus Schwab proud of Putin and Trudeau as they bring the world into tyrannic order. I'm not gonna get into. Thanks, Rich. Congrats on the newborn, says Rich. Thanks, Rich. I appreciate it. Yes. Exciting and busy times, for sure. As you guys can see, you have live images from the capital of Ukraine, Kiev. Right now, it's about 4 a.m. Sorry, in the capital, which is exciting. I don't know why, but it is. Guys, we're only one like away from 65. Kenny says, first of all, welcome to the stream, Kenny. Kenny says, if you lose 10,000 troops in less than 30 days, that's a lot of people on a morale drop. I agree with you. Again, we talk about morale. Kenny, I'm not disagreeing that it's a lot of soldiers dead. And I do agree, morale is big. But some people claim that Russia is done because they've lost 10,000 or 20 or 100,000. And my point is, these are not the only 100,000 troops. Guys, let's go ahead, go ham on the like button. I really appreciate it. Eddie, welcome to the stream, Eddie. Eddie says, from an ex-British army frontline ops steward, Russia is holding back because world stage is looking. They have not committed. So, Eddie, but they've pushed so far. Like, they're around Kyiv right now. Why stop after you've made such big advancements and you've lost so many troops? I'm curious if you have some experience in the military. Gerald, Putin is a bully, and you must stand up to a bully, and he will back down every time. Gerald, that's easy to say when you're talking about a bully, but when you're talking about potential destruction to the planet if Russia uses nuclear weapons, I don't know how easy it is to say he will stand down. What if he doesn't stand down? Excuse me. Goldsam, Trump is a crazy. I'm not going to get into American politics, guys, so let's try to avoid those. So 6 days. You have more likes already than Russian generals got left. Let's get to 70 likes if that's the case. Guys, if you're able to share the stream on Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff, please do. It really helps me out. And if you want to become a member because you really enjoy what I do, I think it's $4 a month. And it's a great motivation for me. And you get some special pictures and special emojis, all the cool stuff. And only 4 likes to 70, so let's keep the like button as well. How is everybody doing? I missed you guys. I know it's been a while. Like I said, I've been kind of busy with stuff at home and real life stuff. But yeah. How is everybody doing? Guys, again, if you're just wondering what time it is in the capital right now, it's 4 p.m. And I know you probably heard me say this 100 times, but the curfew gets lifted at 8, so 4 more hours until the curfew gets lifted. Gold says the next move is to bring out the New World Order digital monetary system. It's coming sooner than later. God, what is that system? Are you talking about crypto? That's a lovely conversation, crypto. Although I'm going to try to avoid all conversations non-stream. Tag, nice to see you again. Thanks for joining. I'm starting to see all these people that were in this stream before. I'm like, it's been forever. It feels like it's been forever. Eddie, served 17 years, 6 op tours. They won't commit till the last push. This is how them cowards work. They use young lads for the game they have. Got you. We will see. I do agree with you. Again, I think when there is a push, Eddie, towards the capital, I think it will be clear. God says CBDC and yes, crypto. He calls XRP. You remember all this. Thanks so much, Rick, for the donation. Rick donated $1. Thanks, Rick. I appreciate it. Guys, we're only 2 likes away from 70. Let's click the like button. Rich says, so I noticed the Russian stock market has reopened, but only 33 of the 40-ish stocks are available for limited trade for only 3 to 4 hours. And believe it or not, Rich, it's up. The stock market actually is up in Russia. God says, Bill Gates already using XRP in Africa. I'm not going to talk about crypto right now, guys. I'm going to try and stick to the live, the cameras and Ukraine. Just because I think I do plan on doing live streams for other things, but we will set them up for other things. Again, thanks Rick for the donation. I appreciate it. Guys, let's get 5 more likes. 70 likes. I think we can do it. Gerald says, Putin has daughters and grandchildren, so he won't use nukes. He has said the same thing several times before about using nukes, but he didn't back down from the pushback. So again, Gerald, I do agree with you to some degree. I think when people are put in a corner, I think particularly Russia, and particularly Putin, they're very high, prideful people, high ego. I think if he's put in a corner where he feels this is the end of Russia, I think things change there, Gerald. That's my thought. Tex has been hanging on crap channels like War Streams and Locust Mail, way too moderated. I know. I'll try, guys. I'll try. Maybe if I have more members, I'll start doing a members live streams. Oh God, Gold Penny, thanks. Keep up the great streaming, says Gold Penny with a $20 donation. Thanks so much, Gold Penny. So awesome. I really appreciate it. I'm really I really enjoy streaming for you guys. I really do. Eddie says, great stream, by the way. You're great. What you massive thumbs up to you, boss. Keep up the great work. Thanks so much, Eddie. I appreciate the kind words. Webin says, Putin is not a psychopath. Pretty sure. He's too book smart to be an official lunatic. I know he has, according to official reports or whatever, he has a PhD in political science, so he's not an idiot. If he has a PhD, he could be playing the world. Who knows? I would not be shocked, to be honest with you. Or Rick, thanks so much, man. You guys are amazing. Thanks so much for the donation, Rick. I really appreciate it. And Gold Penny again. Thanks so much. You guys are great. I really appreciate those donations. Rick says, breaking news, 15 warships heading for Odessa. Rick, is that just now? Rick Wright. Rick Wright, is that just now that you're getting the support? I did not see that. Yeah, we'll see what happens. You sometimes the smartest people are the people that shock you the most, Webin. So who knows? Even if he's not, I think again, you put anybody in a corner, or they feel in a corner. I think they react in ways that are unexpected. Rick says, "Love the knowledge. It's worth money." Thanks so much, Rick. I really appreciate it. it's confirmed. So, Rick, are you able to post the source? It would be nice if we have the source. Sosik, how would they enter? I'm trying to see a map of Odessa. Maybe we can see. So again, guys, I'm just hearing this for the first time. Rick Wright right now is saying 15 warships are about to heading for Odessa. I'm trying to look at a map of Odessa to see if there's water around it. It looks like the Black Sea. So they must be trying to enter through. See, this is where Turkey's important. They're going to enter through. They're going to have to enter through with Turkey's permission, because they're going to have to enter through. There's a waterway near Istanbul, and they're going to enter through the Black Sea if they're entering for Odessa. And then Odessa's right on the Black Sea. Are they Russian warships? That's what's being reported, Rick. Rick, that's what a rich story. They're saying through Russian warship 15. And again, so Gerald says, remember, we are not going to take over his Russia. We are just going to keep from taking Ukraine. Again, though, I do agree, but I think, again, Russians have made a commitment in Ukraine. They've pushed enough forces right now in Ukraine. I don't think they will back out. I don't think the Black Sea is going. Why is it closed, so say? Who's closing the Black Sea? The thing is, if you got to remember, the Black Sea is not only open to Odessa, and then they have Crimea there, and then they have Kherson. Who's closing the? I'm curious now. So Turkey. No, I think you might be wrong. I think you might be wrong on that one. I did read reports that the Russians, the Ukrainian side was asking, Rich asked, I think the Ukrainian side was asking Russia to close it, or Turkey to close it, but they didn't. Did they? I did not know that. How could they close it? They don't have full control of the Black Sea. They only have the control of their own borders. Turkey, Black Sea. Let's see. I'm gonna find out for you guys. I don't think I don't think they would close it. I think Turkey's made it clear they don't want to lose Russia. If this becomes serious for Russia, there's no way that Turkey is going to close it. I'm just being honest. I think it's too big of an ally, and nobody wants to get. Look, okay. Look. I'm just reading a report. This was May 1st. So this is look. This is Turkey. Turkey is asking Ukraine and Russia to please respect closure of the Black Sea. Please. I don't think they will close it. Okay. So this is the confusion, guys. Look. No, it's not closed, just to make clear. So Turkey invokes, Turkey invokes the state of war to ban Russian warships from entering the Black Sea via Bosphorus and Dardanelles Straits. So it's not full closure of the Black Sea, it's just closure of the entrance to it from these two straits. So the two straits that are on the on the Turkish, that are part of the Turkish control. Now, is there a way for them to enter through any other straits? Interesting. I don't know. I have 6 Russian warships sailing from Mediterranean to Black Sea. This is yesterday. It says for drills, but this is 8 hours ago, guys. This is 8 hours ago. This is not old, guys. We're only 5 likes away from 80. Let's get 80 likes. But 6 Russian warships sailing from. This is according to an official news report. They entered supposedly for military drills into the Mediterranean to the Black Sea. Webben says, hypothesis, Putin gets the ocean surrounding Ukraine and critical infrastructure. Biden crime family and elites get there. I'm not going to get into specifics. Russia thinks they own it. So guys, again, this is just a report. So I do think, I'm just going to try and confirm if there's actually 15 warships. Let's see. I'll be able to confirm in a minute. So yeah, there's reports of 15 warships, but I'm trying to confirm that for you guys. Yeah, I'm not seeing any official reports yet. I'm not seeing any official reports, guys, about that. TechBlitz says, if nuclear war breaks out, I will take full advantage of my New Zealand citizenship and move from OZ right down to the bottom of New Zealand. I may last a few more months before the nuclear winter takes effect. Rich says, here's my question. At what point does Putin say F it and bomb supply chains outside of Ukraine? So, Rich, where outside of Ukraine are you referring to? Crosby says nuclear war would happen without warning. I don't think so, Crosby. I think there will be warning. I think what will give you a warning is if you see involvement from any country into the Ukraine. I think if you hear about a no-fly zone or something like that, then yeah, that's your warning. I think that's your warning. I think Russia is serious about this, not wanting anybody to be involved. I think that if they do, though, I think it won't be that they're going to nuke any country. They're going to nuke Ukraine, because if they nuke outside, they know that the West has to get involved. They nuke a NATO country? No, I don't think, Rick. Or sorry, let me see what you read there before earlier. No, they're not. They're not going to get into Poland. They have been targeting as some troops or some weapons and things as they were entering. But all the targets are inside Ukraine. You might have heard about the drone that got shot down supposedly in Poland. But so they are trying, but everything they're targeting is inside the capital, inside Ukraine. Creative says, first of all, Creative, welcome to the stream. So World War III nuclear war is possibly a new reality now. Nothing's changed, Creative. I think people are anticipating things now because Russia has not entered the capital. It sticks to the original plan, what I mentioned a bit earlier, a while back even. So long as things are the way they are right now, you're not going to see a nuclear war. You're going to see a lot of push from Russian forces. You're going to see more bombing probably by Russian forces. You're going to see advancement by Russian forces. You're going to probably see a lot more casualties and a lot more destruction of infrastructure. The only time you're likely to see a nuclear war is, again, if Russia sees that they have absolutely no way of winning this war. We are way far from that. Russia still thinks they can win this war. And I'm talking like Russia feels like the entire military is going to be destroyed before they win this war. If they get to that point where they've lost hundreds of thousands of soldiers and they've not been able to take the capital, I think then you look at localized nuclear attack. I think, and that will be in Ukraine, and that will probably be in the capital, Kiev. If they feel like there's no way they're going to capture the capital, then that's probably what will happen. But again, we're far from that. I think you'll see a lot more carpet bombing and destruction before even that happens. I think when you will see a full-on nuclear war between countries is if NATO gets involved. So you see NATO move into the capital, move into Ukraine, or yeah, I think Russia's not going to move into Poland. I really have a hard time believing that will ever happen. But I think that's the main situation where you can see that. Guys, we're only 4 likes away from 80, so if you can click that like button, I would really appreciate it. But yeah, I don't think we're looking at a nuclear war, so don't don't be scared yet, creative. And I still think we are a bit far from reaching that. Guys, if you're wondering what time it is in the capital right now, it's about 4:15 in Kiev. So yeah, very interesting to see what's going to happen. Eddie says you're great. You're great of helping people calm. Thanks. This is what people need. Is a voice like yours. Top class. This is what people need. Thanks, Eddie. I appreciate it. Thank you for your kind words. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I think again, there's a lot of emotions in this war. Right? A lot of emotions for sure, and absolutely when you get, when you have striking of schools and hospitals and a lot of civilians dying, emotions are high, and sometimes these emotions can make us uh, think things that are illogical and put them in perspective. I think everybody's right now at that sort of instance. We're seeing all these things happening, and again, guys, imagine you look at a beautiful painting and you zoom in and you're looking at one block. It looks like it's one color, right? It looks like you're looking at that one green block. It looks like the whole picture is green. Or you look at one red block and it looks like the whole picture is red. But obviously that's not the case. If you zoom out a little bit, you see the full picture. And that's what I try to do. I try to zoom out so I can see the better, full picture. Sometimes people, when they zoom in, they think, oh, Ukraine is winning. Or they zoom in on the other side, oh, Russia's winning. Or they zoom in on one side, oh, everybody's going to die, we're going into a nuclear war. You got to back up sometimes and look at the full picture. You see 10,000 Russian soldiers die, it's, oh my God, Russia's done. Then you zoom back and you look, oh my God, how many soldiers does Russia have? You see 8 generals die, oh my God, all of Russian generals have died. You zoom back out, okay, well, let's see how many generals there are. So you kind of have to get the full picture, you have to do some research, back out, look at a picture from an objective lens. Rick says, I agree, Russia still has the upper hand in the war. I'm pulling for Ukrainian underdog, even so. Absolutely, for sure. We're not saying that, your feeling and who you agree with, or who's right in this war, who's morally right, who's ethically right. That's a different story. That's a whole different conversation. But from an objective view, if we're looking at the war the way it is, Tech says, mix your media sources up to get the full picture. If you're looking for more Russian side, Telegram news sources. I agree with you. Absolutely. And part of it is being realistic. Sometimes, if it seems like a lie, it's probably a lie. I mean, from the first day we heard 10,000 Russian troops have died. I mean, yeah, they've only been in the war for 3 days. Really, is Russian, they're that weak? I don't think so. So it's unrealistic. Some things are clearly unrealistic, right? And again, you were seeing people saying 10,000 troops and Russia was leaving. You had a Ukrainian stand in front of the entire Russian military, and he wasn't targeted. Like the cars went around him. I mean, if there were that many soldiers dying, I think they would fear from anybody. I think it would have been an easy target. So, sometimes things just make sense. Again, I think I do think that there's 10,000. I think that's relatively accurate. Could be even a little more because you're seeing the airstrikes reflect. Russian troops are striking hard. They're getting hit. When you get hit, you strike back. And that's why I think you're seeing more strikes of even civilian areas, right? You're striking buildings, schools. Uh, you're even seeing some hospitals being stricken. And it's again because when they're suffering, their initial response is to go crazy because they probably don't know where the shots are coming from. I'm just trying to. I hear something here. So Eddie says lots of people are thinking of end war. I think they're talking about Nazi. That will not. Oh, a nuclear war. That will not happen. This guy talks sense. Personally, I think Ukraine will bog down Russia for months, if not years. My view. But again, although I do agree with you that there's not going to be a nuclear war, I really have a hard time thinking that Russia will stay in this war for months or years. I think Russia is waiting right now. Russian troops and Russian leadership is waiting for an excuse to leave, to end this war. But you cannot end this war while you're losing, especially for the Russians, because their ego is really big, and they put themselves, and they've lost some troops. So when they have to come back, when Putin brings these troops back, he has to have something to say to the people of Russia. We put you through these sanctions. We put you through these wars. Your sons have died. You know, we had all these planes shot down. We have all these tanks that were killed. Yes, not that our entire military, but we still lost a lot. What was the purpose? They have to have a purpose. So I don't think this will take long. I think the Russians are waiting for a purpose, and I think the purpose is Kiev. They said at the beginning, our goal is to change leadership in Ukraine, and I think you cannot prove that you've attempted or you have changed leadership without entering the capital. I think it's all about Kiev right now. I think what will realistically happen, in my opinion, is they will enter the capital. They will push hard. They will lose a lot. They will bombard the hell out of Kiev. I do think so. They will enter and they will get right in the middle of Kiev, and then they will say, we've reached a deal with the Ukrainian leadership. Zelensky's going to step down. He's going to leave Ukraine, and Russian troops are going to, we have accomplished our mission, back to Russia we go. I think when they go in, they're going to be hunting for Zelensky, and I think they may reach an agreement somewhere in the middle where Zelensky is going to leave Ukraine for good, and that will be the end of that. I really think that's how things are going to flow. Now, if they don't capture the capital, we're in trouble. The Russians are in trouble. And even Ukrainians are somewhat in trouble, because Russia's going to go crazy. Every day that passes without them capturing, I think, Kiev, they will get crazier and crazier and crazier. And I think, again, crazy doesn't mean nuclear weapons. There's still a lot of things they can use before nuclear weapons, but there's going to be heavier airstrikes, more artillery fire, that sort of thing. So 6 Story says, just produce a video clip pretending Russia to take Kiev so they can show it to... I don't think that's how it works, though. Now, you have a global media. It's not just about Russia, right? Russians are not idiots. I mean, they support the leadership, but they're not stupid. They can see what's happening in the world, right? And eventually, these sanctions will be lifted, and if they can prove that Russia shows it looks bad on Putin. And I think that's when you will see... Ivan, welcome back. Thanks to see you again. I think if they don't take Kiev, or if they lie to the people like that, I think that's when you will see Putin really be hunted by people around him. Because now he's a weak leader. In Russia, it matters, guys, for the leader to be strong and not afraid of anything. You cannot compare Russian sort of, regime to that of the United States or Canada or Australia or New Zealand. It's different, right? They need a strong leader that will use military whenever he wants to or he feels like. They're high ego people. Generally, Russians are like that. You guys see them. Like, they jump in like frozen lakes, and like, I don't know. The videos I see from Russia are just crazy. So, those sorts of people, they need that kind of leader. Like, for them, they're looking for that kind of leader. So if Putin looks weak and he backed out and he didn't achieve his mission, blah blah blah, then they will change him, I think. Alice. Ivan says, hello, people. It's good to see you back, News Geek. It's good to see you back, Ivan. Thanks for joining. Ivan, don't forget to click the like button. I appreciate it. Guys, for all of you, all the people that just joined, please click the like button. I really appreciate it. It helps us out a lot. Alice, Zelensky agreed not to join NATO. Putin might have a settle for that and end. No, I don't think so, Alice. Zelensky agreed to that before the war started. That they will not. I think, look, I think what happened behind on closed doors is a lot different than what you're seeing. I think this all started with something personal that happened between Zelensky and Putin. I do think this was a personal war between Zelensky between Putin and Zelensky. And I think Putin went in targeting Zelensky specifically. So I think something happened behind closed door where Zelensky pissed off Putin. And Zelensky said, screw you, we're going to do what we want. We're going to enter NATO, do whatever you want. You can move your military, you can do whatever. And it's like, we're going to get you. And he said, you're not going to be able to reach me. Do whatever you want. I think something in that, I'm not saying that specifically that happened, something in that realm where there was, I think Ukraine and Zelensky sort of put Russia to display, doubted Russia's ability. And this triggered the ego within Putin and said, you know what, we're gonna show you who you're playing with. And I think this is what really pushed that war. I think there's a hunt for Zelensky. I think this war is because they want him specifically. So, and that's why, again, I go back to why Kiev is really important. So, I don't think it is enough for them to say, I don't think it will be enough for them to say, you know what, we're not going to join NATO anymore. I think now it's a personal fight. So he wants Zelensky. He doesn't care about NATO. They know that Ukraine will not enter NATO. They're sure of that. That will not happen now. But now we want this guy because it's a lesson, right? For Russia, for Putin, he's an arrogant and very egoistic man, right? It matters to him. But also, if you have this little guy stand up against you, what will the bigger people say, right? If you're this fighter, UFC fighter, and this 18-year-old comes to you and says, "Yeah, I can beat you up. Do whatever you want. Well, I'll fight you in the court. We'll do whatever you want." Not only do you want to fight him because you're pissed off at him, but also you don't want all these real UFC fighters to think you're nothing, right? So I think it's a 2-game fight, but I really think it's for Zelensky. I think if Zelensky stepped down today and ran out of Ukraine or left Kiev, I think this war would probably, maybe even without the entrance into Kiev, would end. But Zelensky is not doing that. Zelensky will leave Kiev. I think he'll leave once he sees Russian forces entering the city, because he knows. I think Zelensky again is not stupid. He knows that when they go in, they're gonna go look for him. And I can tell you another reason that Zelensky knows that. Another proof that Zelensky knows that Russia's hunting for him specifically. If you remember, at the beginning of this war, there were negotiations before even Russian troops had reached the capital of Ukraine, Kiev. And what stopped the negotiations? I wonder if any of you guys remember. Guys, click the like button. We're only 3 likes away from 90. Let's get to 90 likes. I wonder if any of you remember this. Ivan says, yeah, Russia needs strong leadership. It's not the weakling of Biden. Alice says, Zelensky picked a fight with the wrong guy. I don't think anybody expected that Putin would react this way. Although, we've seen him react. Gerald says, Putin just wanted to take Ukraine. He thinks Zelensky is a pushover because he didn't prepare for possible attack and he ignored Putin's threats. No, I don't think so. Gerald, I disagree. I think that Putin wants somebody in Ukraine that will say, you know what, we know you're stronger than us. Whatever you say goes because we know you can take us over. He wants that mentality in the Ukrainian side. Tech says, all hardline Ukrainian nationalists are also a priority to Putin. But they were there, and they were protected by Russia. Everybody knew they were protected by Russia. So 6 story, yep, was personal from the start. I don't see why Zelensky would step down now for no reason. You could have had the same results without a war. Yeah, but who remembers what stopped the negotiations at the very beginning? Creative says, why are so many people criticizing Zelensky? Creative, I'm not criticizing Zelensky. I'm trying to be as objective as to what started this war, how it's going. That's it. I'm just kind of explaining the circumstances behind it. And this is my own analysis. Again, you may not agree with me. I may be completely off. I do think it's based on what I'm seeing and how it's progressing. I do think it's accurate. I'm not criticizing. And again, this is the decision, Ukrainian people's decision. The Ukrainian people have stood behind Zelensky right now. So even if they think he is worth it enough, that he's worth fighting for, and that's their right. I mean, everybody decides what they want to do, and you bear the consequence of that decision. I'm not saying Russia is right. I'm not advocating for Putin by any means. Again, I try to be objective. I don't think he'll back down, Christy, either. I think the only time he'll back down is, again, Russian troops are inside Kiev, because he knows they'll hunt for him. So then the safest thing for him and his family is to leave, and I think he will do that. AL100 says, I've been just listening to you speak for like the past 30 minutes or so, and you make much sense. And yeah, this does me seem more of a Putin Zelensky personal, but I do agree. Again, that's how I think. But guys, who remembers what stopped? This is gonna, to me, this is what confirmed, like, this is the reason, 100% hunt for Zelensky. Other than all of this, who remembers what stopped the first negotiations? This was Russia still just entered and they were heading for Kiev. Way at the beginning. Ellis must challenge Putin. Does he not know what happens to people who challenge? Musk is in the United States, and Russia's not going to get into that battle with the United States. I think it's different. The location of Ukraine matters to Russia. Zelensky or Musk doesn't matter to Russia. The location, there's no strategic. But who remembers? Creative says, for something so personal, though, the cost of a lot of lives and destruction. But Creative, again, those types of leaders, Russian leaders, they will pay and have their military pay for a personal battle. That's just the way they are there. And people are willing to pay the price. I tell you, we brought people, Russians, on the stream, and they said, we're with Putin. We knew this was going to happen. We voted for him. We'll vote for him again. So they support their leader. I'm not saying all I know, none of them, every single one says that we hate the fact that there's civilians dying. We're not with that. We hope this would end peacefully. But they said we knew this was coming, and Putin didn't do anything wrong. Ivan says this is between Zelensky and Putin because the West is going to just supply Ukraine and not interfere. Christy, why would there's so many lies for a personal vendetta, though? I think Zelensky did not expect Russia to actually follow with the word and invade Ukraine. I don't think he expected it. I think he thought that Europe would back him out, that Russia would know that Europe would back him out, that the United States would back him out. Remember, they have all these deals with Israel, with the United States, with Europe. So I think the assumption was, I have my back. There's a lot of people that are there to protect my back. I think they were shocked when everybody put their hand up and said, you know what, Ukraine, you have your fight. We will give you weapons, but this is your fight. I think this came as a shock. But then it was too late. Because then Zelensky lost everything. He put his country through war, and then he ran away. What does it look like? Your country gets invaded. You talk up against Russia. No. A Russian military move in, and they already kill and capture some people in your country, and then you leave. What does that look like? It makes sense that he wouldn't. Looks like you betrayed your country. You don't want to look like you betrayed your country, right? You look like a traitor. You left your people in this war, and then you ran away. TF says, I'm still on the side of I'm not saying TFA. I'm not saying you shouldn't be on the side of Ukrainian people. Absolutely. This is, again, on objective. So 6R says Zelensky would betray his own guys in Donbass, right? Also, Russia would only agree if they set up the government. Exactly. See, that's exactly what I'm saying. 82 says, I've listened also for the last few minutes. However, I disagree with a lot of your comments, especially as a war fighter, with the exception that we thought Russia was strong and a bigger force. You can disagree, absolutely. I mean, again, guys, this is my analysis, what I think. I may be completely off, but it's clicking. To me, as things progress, I'm believing this more and more. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys, nobody answered my question. Brent says Zelensky had to act as if Russia would not invade to make it Russia's fault, and to give peace every chance by not giving the Russians an excuse. Brent, Zelensky has been an amazing leader in the war. He's the Slavic Churchill. Oh yes, I never thought you were criticizing at all. I meant from past comments I've seen. Again, I'm gonna tell you guys what made me confirm. If you remember, again, at the beginning of this war, Russian leader made a comment. Putin made a specific comment. He said, Ukrainian military, don't let these drug dealer leaders of yours put your families as human shield. Take control and we will return. What does that tell you? Isn't that clear? Does not make it clear that, first of all, it's a personal target, that he doesn't want Putin, that this whole war, he was willing to back out of this war if the Ukrainian army took over leadership. This is documented. I've seen it on like a million news stations at that time. That's one that proved to me that this is a personal war. Number two, if you remember, there were negotiations that were going to happen between the Ukrainian leadership and Russian leadership potentially to end the war. And what stopped these negotiations was one thing. Was it the opinions, the people? No, it's the location. Russia wanted it in a city in Ukraine that was controlled by the Russian army. Zelensky wanted it in Poland. And they disagreed and they did not negotiate as a result. What does that tell you? Zelensky didn't didn't trust Russian troops. He didn't trust. He was scared that they were going to betray him there and maybe take him, either, execute him then and there, or try and capture him then and there. If you don't trust a location, what does that tell you? You don't trust Russian. They want you, and that stopped the negotiations at the time. So for me, it's hard to believe after seeing all of these things that this is not a personal Putin versus Zelensky, at least at the beginning. I still think it is up to this point, even now. I think it is more now. But again, I think now, the more that the Ukrainian people suffer in the form of infrastructure damage and homes and all of that, the more that this war for the Ukrainians become more than Zelensky. I think maybe at the beginning, if they were clear that, Zelensky steps aside and this is over, maybe then they would have said, Zelensky, you're not worth this war. I don't know if they would have. Maybe they wouldn't have. But they could have maybe said, you know what, you're not worth this war. We're not going to destroy our infrastructure and our country because of it. Because of you, you know what? Not because you're bad, but because, we just want to avoid this war. But, step aside. But now, the damage is already done, so they're not going to step aside. Now you've destroyed our homes, you've destroyed our infrastructure. We're gonna make you pay. That's only 8 likes until 100. 82 says, yes, Putin had said those things also. Propaganda, lies, and fake. Everything's possible. Everything's possible. Again, I'm not saying this is exactly why. But to me, it just clicks. Everything clicks. Again, it could be sometimes, when you're looking for something, you find information to back it up. But, I don't know. 82 says his whole theory of attack was based on lies. The great far-right conspiracy. Possible. Guys, we're only 2 likes away from 95. Let's get to 95 likes. Let's do it. Oh, did I see a light there? I saw something. I saw something, guys. There we go, another one. Did you guys see that? What is that, air defense system? Something's happening. Yep, this sound coming from the bottom left camera. But camera 5. Looks like that was an air defense system. Did you guys see the air defense system, camera 5? Brent says, Ukraine is very, very close to winning outright. The Russian forces northeast of Kiev are in danger of being surrounded by Ukrainian counteroffensive. Did you guys see that on the top bottom left corner? Camera 5. Let me see if I can back it up. Maybe I can back it up and see. I'm just gonna back it up like less than a minute. I backed it up, guys, like about a minute. We'll see if we can catch it again. Camera 5, guys. It looks like air defense system. I don't know. Maybe I need to back it up a little bit more. No, there you go. Do you guys see it? Do you guys see it? Camera 5. It looked like an air defense system. There was sound too with it. It did not, to me, it didn't look like a car. Yeah. Yeah, it does look like gunfire. I agree. Tech says, I also saw a small flash on camera 5 about 10 minutes ago. Definitely gunfire. Yeah, it did look like gunfire. Tex says there's definitely action there. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm gonna just back up a couple of seconds as well. Again, maybe. Okay, maybe you guys can see it. Again, guys, only 4 likes to 100, a critical point. Let's click the like button if you haven't done so already. Yeah, it looked like gunfire. Yeah, to me, it looks like clear gunfire. There's another one. Yeah, it does look like gunfire. Again, that guys, that's the Kiev from the capital Kiev. That camera's in the capital Kiev, as you can see, camera 5. Definitely lots of action in the capital today. Guys, for those that have joined, we're only 4 likes away from 100. Let's get those 4 likes. Yeah, so there is some gunfire. It looks like in the capital. So this is towards. It's not exactly downtown. A little bit farther off. Yeah, but you guys can see a lot of this gunfire is in the capital, Kiev. I'm gonna move it back so we can run live again. Okay, we're back live. We were only a few seconds off, just so that I can show you guys what happened there. It looks like some people had missed it. So yeah, the gunfire in the capital of Ukraine, Kiev, a couple of minutes ago. Again, this is progressing quite quickly. Although again, they've been surrounding the capital for a month, so we'll see. 82 says, though your outcome is certainly a possibility, one I hope does not happen. I love the way you interact with your viewers. Outstanding, buddy. Thanks so much, 82. I appreciate it. Yeah, again, we're all we're all kind of putting our thoughts and analyzing and trying to figure out. I really hope that this, again, I hope none of this happens. We had hoped that this wouldn't happen to begin with, and we always hope that things end peacefully. But we just kind of read, and as we read and as we see things, everybody makes a sort of an analysis in their own mind. Yeah, but guys, you can kind of tell what sound is coming from the bottom left and which one's coming from the car. When you see these arrows, the bars come in the corner of camera 5, that means their sound is coming from camera 5. For those of you that are curious. Alice says, no peace. Alice, are you hoping for no peace? You want action, Alice? Evan, you're back. I am back. Nice to see you again. Thanks for joining, Evan. I know. A lot has changed. And a lot is probably going to change. How's it going, Evan? So everybody that just joined, I see there's a group that just joined. Let's click the like button and get to 100 likes. Oh, there we got it. One. Is that you, Evan? That clicked the like? Alice says Independence Day. Alien says no. No peace. Guys, it's close to 5. Yes. Evan clicked the like button. Lakar, welcome back. Welcome back, Lakar. Thanks for joining. I know it has been a while, but again, as I told everybody a little while ago, I've kind of been busy. Yes, 100 likes. It's a good job. I've kind of been busy having a newborn and work and, things happening in real life. So had to step aside for a little bit, but I'm back, more excited than ever. Ready to keep you guys live with what's happening. Although I have work tomorrow in the morning and I'm working 12 hours tomorrow, but Edward says, "You're great in what you do, boss. Keep up the amazing work. You're not biased in any way or form. Keep it normal. 100% love this channel." Thanks, Eddie. Appreciate the kind comments, and I really appreciate it. I'm happy that you've joined. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for being here. I try. Evan says, "Ukraine on the attack and Kiev may be safe." We will see. This war, Evan, has been so volatile and things change so quickly. It's hard to tell. They may be now, but we will find out. Crosby says, "Thanks for the stream, Dr. Lung." You're very welcome. Happy to stream. Looks like streams are calmer these days, eh? Not as many people on watching what's happening live. I think it's after a month, people kind of get... Evan says, maybe Maripol, maybe last stand. Maybe. I think after a month, no one's watching as much as they were before. But, yeah. So, are you guys interested in streams other than what's happening in Ukraine, like in the future? I'm going to stream the US elections 100%. Way before. Everybody's always so excited to talk about American politics. But guys, again, it's live in the capital of Ukraine, Kiev. Right now, it's about 15 minutes to 5 in the capital. So we're getting close to when the curfew gets lifted and getting close to 6 a.m. Normally, we get strikes at around 6. So we'll see how things are looking tonight. I haven't seen the live cameras in a while. Guys, if you've not clicked the like button, please click the like button. Evan, are you used to me? Did you miss me saying click the like button? Dodge for life. Dog coin for life. I have a few. A little bit. I'm not from the US, Eddie. I'm actually from Canada. I'm bloody tired, boss. I know, we all are, I'm sure. I'm sure we're all a little tired. Crosby says, "Dog has an infinite..." Guys, we're getting into crypto now. We stick to the Ukraine. Maybe I'll do a live stream one day about crypto. I do hold some crypto. It's not Dogecoin, but or Dogecoin, or however you want to say it. Tech says, "Who here likes Trudeau?" You want to get into Canadian politics now? No. Stick to Ukraine. Stick to Ukraine and Russia. I learned the hard way not to talk about American politics or whatever. Everybody went crazy that night. Hella says, "Seems like everyone wants to kill each other lately." I don't know why. Alice. Welcome to all of you that just joined the stream, guys. Again, you're getting live images from the capital of Ukraine, Kiev. It's been a relatively quiet night, other than some shooting in the capital that we seen a little while ago on camera 5. So if you're curious to see if something's gonna happen, keep an eye on that camera. For those that just joined and not click the like button, please click the like button. I really appreciate it. There's somebody walking in Kiev as well, as you can see there on the camera on the bottom right corner. So that's good. People are walking. They're getting their exercise. If people are walking, getting their exercise, they're in the middle of war, what excuse do you have to not exercise? The guy says, I don't recall seeing a red alert, but I see one in Cam 5. So the latest red alert, it looks like at 1940. So that would be... That was a while back. It says the time, Lakar, that it was 1940. So that was yesterday. Yes, so about 5 hours. No, more than 5 hours, like 8 hours ago. Rick says, I work 12-hour shifts. It's tests of my ability to provide. It's not all easy, but worth it. Absolutely, absolutely. I do the same. I do as well, Rick. I do as well. I work 12 hours as well. Eddie says, I was an exercise many of the times in Canada. Says many times in Canada. Been to, Madison Heights. A Medicine Hat. In Alberta, I believe that's it. And got a good punch by Canadian copper. And yes, I deserved it 100%. What's happening here? I just noticed some activity on this camera. Let's see what's going on. Alright guys, just setting up some stuff for you guys. Let's see where we're at here. The Kenochin. No one likes Truda, he's a F up. Alice, bombs anymore. Alice is used to 6 o'clock. That's like every minute. Alice, now. They're in there. They're stuck in the air. Now. The Nightbot, like. I like this Nightbot. Guys, yeah, listen to the Nightbot. He says click the like button. If you haven't clicked the like button, click the like button. The Nightbot appreciates it. I appreciate it. Again, guys, it's live right now from the capital of Ukraine, Kiev, where it sits at about 4:50 a.m. in the capital. Christie says the only one that needs to be killed is the one that started purposely taking lives of children and citizens for no damn reason. Guys, again, just looking at some images from the capital of Ukraine, Kiev. There we go again. Some, as you can see, guys, there's more. There's some. I mentioned this a bit earlier that tonight we're seeing some more activity on the ground. People on the ground. There's much more activity on the ground than previous days. Again, I don't know if this is just regular patrol. I haven't been on for a few days, but the days that were before that, this was not kind of a norm. So I don't know what's going on the ground right now, but definitely things happening. 82 says, my only experience with Canada was with their paratroopers. Good peeps. Always enjoy their company downrange. We have some good people in Canada. Like, if you're tired and facing 12-hour work, go get some sleep. We'll be fine here. Eddie says, got to get my fatad down. Now, boss will keep the streaming rolling, mate. Keep the stream rolling. Got to keep up the great work, mate. 100% Bob on. Thanks, Eddie. Appreciate it. The world is trying to read Putin's mind, and many don't have a darn clue. I don't think anybody has a darn clue. Okay, maybe I will get some sleep. I have to work tomorrow. I have to work actually over the weekend. It's okay. It's okay. Alright, guys. So, the stream will continue on. You'll keep seeing the live images. I hope you guys do appreciate it. For those of you that have joined and not clicked the like button, please click the like button. If you want to support us in the stream and you've not subscribed, click the subscribe button. And if you want to support the stream and want to donate to the stream, you can do that through the super chat and super sticker option. I really appreciate all of you guys being here. All of you guys clicking the like button and doing all those other things. And for those of you that have donated, I really appreciate that as well. Very nice of you. Again, there's an option also if you're really excited and want to be part of our members group, the small group of members that we have. You get a really cool emoji sticker thingy and a special tag, and you get a high five from me in the chat, and you get a blue little name. It's really cool. There's a join button that you can click. If you click that join button, you are within a select special group of people in the stream. You're all special, but you're in a select special group of people in the stream. If you click that join button, you get some cool special features. Anyways, guys, nice seeing all of you, and we will continue again to run live, and I will keep things rolling for you guys for as long as I possibly can, or as long as my computer will stay alive for, or as long as my stream shuts on its own. Sometimes it does, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my blabbing over the last little while with my analysis and the way I think. And really, again, really nice meeting all of you. Rick says, thanks, man. Best stream out there for this war. You're very welcome, Rick. Same old dude says, thank you, great content. Thanks, same old. You're very welcome. Christy says, thank you. You're very welcome, Christy. Eddie says, going to donate 100 tomorrow when I get paid because you do great. Thanks, Eddie. I appreciate it very, very much. And yeah, have a great night so far for those of you that are going to sleep. For those that are staying here, enjoy the rest of this content. If I do wake up to something crazy happening, maybe I'll come back and talk. But yeah, for now, ciao.
Pretty sure I got it, Laws, but you want to take a look since you're up here? I'm pretty sure I got it, but you can take a look at it. To tell you the truth, I can't tell if it kept the zoom or not, but feel free to try it.
You know, I'm just looking at where things are.
Yeah.
So, this guy, I don't think...
I think it's that building right there, the corner of it.
Yeah, we don't have the cell tower on the left on this.
Okay.
So we pretty much, it's a bit tighter, but I don't know if we're ever going to do it.
Yeah.
So, what did you do? Did you pull the HDMI out to get it on the back screen?
I did. Go ahead and do it if you want. Yeah. It's the top one. I already tried.
So I'm just seeing where it is. It's there.
Yeah. Yeah, I accidentally pulled the power first. I was like, how come I'm still seeing it? Oh, yeah, wrong cable.
It's still at 1% in this.
Yeah.
It never charges.
Yeah, yeah. Man, crazy.
Right. So, what are the two things that I want to do? I wanted to go to...
I was on the Zoom, you see it? Yeah. That Zoom right there.
Yeah, there's Zoom, but there's also...
Yeah, I left it on basic.
Here we go.
Standard. That's a little wider, isn't it?
Yeah.
See if you can get something besides the wider.
If you go narrow, but that gives, I think, more of a curve. Without fisheye effect. That does it.
Yeah.
That's what we want, isn't it?
Right.
Because fisheye gives you that
curve.
curve.
Yeah.
So we got narrow's the way forward. Definitely.
Yeah.
Narrow. Hyper smooth with boost. I don't know what that means. Resolution 4K 25 frames per second. Put that to 50. Might get a bit more in. I don't think there is a zoom when you're on the skinny.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll probably be better anyway.
I think it's the same thing.
Somebody stuck an umbrella out of our side.
Motherfuckers. Oh, it didn't come up with you on the screen. Oh.
That's what I was questioning, is because I went and zoomed it, but then it looked like it kind of didn't keep it, you know?
Right, I'm gonna see if we can get onto the Wi-Fi.
See if you can do it that way. Thanks for answering my message last night about the Wi-Fi. Is there a field engineering Wi-Fi up here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have a little look, so you should say field eng number.
Yeah. And I don't know if he ever got on. I told him to try what you did. I never heard from him again. I forgot to follow up.
I'm going to do a long reset on this.
Yeah, field engineering 132. It's very strong.
Yeah, it should be booming. It's one of those Apple Extreme numbers.
Two of them.
Two field engines?
Yeah, but they're both 1322, so
maybe doesn't sound right.
I'm doing an app, so it could be just making the shit up.
Right, look at the program. Come on.
Doesn't like either of them. With capital or lowercase. And am I spelling it right? K-E-N-S-I-N?
No, not Kensington. Kennington.
Kennington. That's why. How do you spell it?
Kennington.
I did it by looking up what the place was called in England, and that's what
There is a Kensington.
Yeah, that's
but that's a very posh.
Yeah, I know.
Kennington.
I saw it. I was like, that doesn't look like that's where it is, but whatever.
Why are we not fucking? I don't know how to turn Wi-Fi on this thing.
You can't get to it now?
No, where's? I need to find out where the fucking Wi-Fi bit is. Wireless connection on. Wi-Fi band 55 gigs. try 2 points. Oh. Connect device. Remote. Ah, there's the connect device. Huh? Fucking finally. Come on. Connecting. Okay. My fingers have stopped working. It's not in playback mode, you fuckers.
Huh?
No. So if I do this, I take the HDMI out, I get to play, but when it's got HDMI in, it does playback mode.
Oh, how did I get out of that? I hit the power button and arrowed over to the camera.
Okay.
Yeah, when I put it in, it came up like that, but I was able to get out of it.
So if I go...
Yeah, you just use the record button to select, but you knew that because of the the icon thing.
It's going to rain tonight. Okay. So I'm in narrow now. Yeah, but look, so if we go...
Oh, yeah.
That's where we were at. That's where we're at now.
Is there a zoom on there? Can you check?